We're live.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Hi, everyone. We actually have no viewers at this point in time. We just came live. I'm so excited about today's episode of the SHEconomy Show. It's cool for a lot of reasons. Number one, I get to be with like one of my most favorite humans on planet Earth. Not only is she my best friend, but she is an incredible female powerhouse, mother, entrepreneur extraordinaire. I'm gonna make her cry because that's what we ladies do.
Yeah.
And today's show is really dedicated to the women out there that either want to join a corporate ladder, raise in the corporate ladder, or have an idea to go out on their own and want to be an entrepreneur. And so I brought Pat on and in person, so which is even more fun. Normally we are anyone I interview is somewhere else. And so I'm in my hometown, Toronto, and I'm really excited that she gets to join me in my home tonight. And we are actually sipping on a little rosé, sparkling rosé. So cheers to you. And it's 9:00 here in Toronto, so it's well past the rosé hour, but rosé all day. Anyway, so I would like to officially introduce Pat. And Patricia, hi. I call her Pat. Everyone who's close to her calls her Pat.
Yep.
And I want to turn it over to Pat. Give the audience and the women watching and men, because let's face it, gentlemen, you need to support the women around you.
100%.
Let them know about you. Yeah.
Okay, so I could say I stumbled into my career very accidentally. I am one of 6 kids. My mom was widowed at 39 with 6 young children. And so I was starting work at the age of 14, trying to do whatever I can to support all my siblings and my mom. And then I was in the hair salon with my hairdresser. My mom always wanted me to be a hairdresser. I did not at the time. I thought I was going to be a cop. I thought I was going to be a teacher. I thought I was going to be a whole bunch of other things. And sure enough, I landed into being a hairdresser. So by the time I was 17, I was enrolled in school. By the time I was 20, I landed my first job. By the time I was 22, I got married. Actually,
oh yes,
I got married very young. And then by the time I was 25, I had my own salon with 2 business partners, which were still partners to this day. Then I had 3 kids along the way, 3 boys, beautiful boys.
Amazing. They're firecrackers.
They are.
Just like their mom, by the way.
And a single mom to that as well. So I've had Privé Hair Gallery, which is where I met Katie as a client originally, and now turned like best friend.
And I designed their guest experience.
Yes,
so there we go.
It's
a trifecta.
It really is. So yeah, we opened up Privé Hair Gallery with my 2 partners back in 2006, and we're still going on strong. And started actually another side business.
Cold hair,
yes.
Hair extensions.
It's the online academy, which I do with one of my business partners, but my other partner, she's fully supports us as well.
Ladies, let's hear this, and gentlemen out there too, anybody watching, like, she is a single mom of 3. She has started 2 businesses, but you had 2 salons.
Yes.
And now you're bringing Cold Hair, which is an Italian hair extension brand that is now, you're the only ones offering it in North America.
Yeah.
So she's bringing this incredible hair extension brands to North America, all while being an amazing human.
Aw, thanks.
And a salsa dancer and all the things. So Pat, not me. I know Pat. So this is all for you. Tell the audience, what are anybody who is looking to either join the corporate ladder, climb a corporate ladder, or go out on their own, or is currently on their own, what are some things they need to focus on, or what are some core principles they need that they can use to guide them to the success that you've had?
So I'm going to be honest, I did not do this on my own, right? I have 2 partners who, one, I've known since grade 10. I kind of dragged her into the hairdressing world with me. I made her come to school with me because I'm like, worst case scenario, we hate it, we can just do our hair. At least we could have nice hair every weekend, which now turned into my business partner. And so I can say my success isn't because I did it on my own. I've had two amazing partners, and we've gone through a lot together. So I've known my partners for over 20 years. And that being said, we've had some really trying times. So we had one salon, branched out into two, then brought it down to one. And then obviously with the last 3 years has been very trying for anybody in the beauty industry. So the biggest thing I could say is when you are taking a risk, because it is a risk at the end of the day, going out on your own. I knew that I know how to do hair. I know how to talk to people. I know how to make people feel good, feel comfortable. I know my skill set is, maybe above average, right? Now I'm 24 years in this industry. I think I know a thing or two. But at the end of the day, we took a chance. And the day before we opened, it's 2:00 in the morning. We're putting up our products. And of course, that question is like, oh, what if we fail? What if we fail? Guys, oh my God, what the hell are we doing?
We ask ourselves that like a gazillion times a day. But when you've got all your eggs in one basket.
And we took out line of credits, we took out we put our own money in, and we were I was 25 opening up my first business. And so we all looked at each other at 2 a.m. and we're like, okay, what if we fail? I'm like, well, we won't fail because we don't know how to do hair. We're going to fail because we don't know the business side of it, right? At the end of the day, we need to have a good accountant. We need to have a good lawyer. And we need to have faith that if we can manage X amount a day, we can pay off our bills. And we just took a leap. And here we are, 17 years later in the industry. And I'm telling you, the biggest reason why I think we're still where we are. Am I jumping the gun?
No, go.
Honesty, I think, is why we are where we are today. A lot of people are looking for that quick buck. A lot of people are like, oh, you're in my chair right now, or you're in my store right now. I'm going to sell you everything that I possibly can to make sure my rent is covered for the day. And I think, honestly, what's kept our clients coming back to us is the fact that I'm like, no, you don't need that today. They'll come in and say, I want this. I'm like, no, you don't. They're like, no, I do. I'm like, no, you don't. You need a mini head instead of a full head of hair. So you need just a blow dry to make you feel good rather than a haircut, right? And so, yes, in the moment, it doesn't pay you. But 24 years later in this industry, I still have my clients that I first started. And I think honesty.
So would you say then, and I hear retention, right? As you've built your hair salon doesn't exist without, her, and everything cycles back to her, right? It cycles back to the female consumer and the loyalty that you've been able to garner with her. And that's through, truth and transparency, but also you know how to talk to people, you know how to create relationships, and they trust you.
Yes. And
so it's trust. And I've been a client of Privé. How long?
From our Junction days.
Yes. 15 years? 20? A long time.
At least. Pretty close to when we first opened.
And now, and true story, my son,
love him.
My son has a favorite stylist, Kelly, who was my first stylist at Privé. He requests her and goes to Privé. He needs to go to Privé. They have this experience that's incredible. They offer him hot chocolate. They make him feel like the man. Yeah. They tease him about his girlfriends, and he blushes, and he gets the haircut he loves, and he doesn't want to go anywhere else. You remind me of, I don't know if anybody is familiar with the story of the founder of IT Cosmetics.
No.
She is incredible. I just listened to a podcast of hers today with Mel Robbins, and it was about knowing your purpose. And she calls herself the professor of purpose. Oh. And she basically has the worst skin ever, rosacea like crazy. She talks about how she was an on-air news anchor, and in her like little earpiece one day they kept saying, something's poking out on your face, do you have something on your face? Well, the makeup wouldn't cover the rosacea on her face. She quit her good job, her husband quit the job, so that risk you talk about, and they went out and designed It Cosmetics for women that have skin problems and can cover everything up. 3 years no sales. 3 years. They're down to their very last dime. And they went on to this show, and it was like one of those, you know, the channels, the shopping channels. And basically put everything in there. Took out like, she said she went to like 22 banks and only one approved her for a loan.
Oh my God, I remember that story.
Right?
When we first opened, we were 25 with like no credit. Like, are you kidding me? Our bank looked at us and gave us like the most.
There was even a man that said to her, and I wrote it down today, and I'm looking for it, but he said, this male executive, and this goes back to the female consumer, and even in cosmetics and the beauty industry, men are like 86%. The top execs of men are 86%. Top execs of the industry is 86%. They told her, they said, no, we are not going to invest in you. And then they told her, it's because I don't think women will buy makeup from someone who looks like you. Right? So the reason
that gave her fire, I think.
Right?
Like,
It did. She talks about fire.
She's like, you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong.
And then the reason I bring that up is because it's so important to know your why. And she has this saying, know your why, fly, girl, fly.
Oh, I like that.
It's right.
And I think that's what it is at the end of the day when you're launching a career, or looking at doing something different, or looking to move up. What is your why? What is your purpose? And what can you bring to the table that is different? Not so much reinventing the wheel, right? Like it's reinventing the wheel. It's not making a new wheel because it's perfect round. But how can you make it better? You add spokes. You add, back in the days, to put like deck of cards to make it sound a lot better, right?
Yes.
So, and I think in business in general, it's like, okay, what's the problem?
Mm-hmm. What do you solve?
What do you solve? What do you solve? Right. And I mean, with my salon, it's a hair salon, right? So we're obviously getting clients in, making them feel good, not just on the outside, on the inside, right? So how could we make our female clientele, our male clientele, like keep coming back, right? So it's just creating an experience, but in terms of like longevity and branching out and doing something different, like I've been doing, I was an assistant, then I was a junior stylist, and I was a senior stylist, and then I was an owner. But it wasn't enough.
So now she brings
in this like hair extension from Italy, and we're starting from ground zero because it's all in Italian, and we got to reinvent it into English and get it online academy. So it's finding your purpose, your why. What can you make? How can you make it better?
Yeah. Well, and I love that you say that, because the other thing she said, and this is why you remind me so much of her. The other thing she said is that, don't forget about you. Like, you are, there's only one of you on this earth.
Yeah.
And so you are what makes the wheel, the
foundation.
Right. But you are what makes that round wheel different, with the cards in the, or the LED lights.
I'm so aging myself right now.
But you're right. That's what it is. It's if you know your why, and you're willing to take a risk for that gut feeling.
Oh yeah.
And then you hone in and own who you are, then people will listen, people will follow, people will stay. You'll be able to create the relationships and the experiences that you need in order to create that loyalty with your consumer.
And that's exactly what, when we're having a moment the night before we opened, and we're like, well, what if we fail? I said, well, we figure out what we did wrong, and we started all over again, because we know our foundation is good. Like, we know we're good at what we're doing. So like we said, we don't have a good accounting. We didn't have a good business model, because obviously you don't really know what you're doing until you're in it.
Yeah.
Trial and error, and believing in yourself. Like, I know I'm okay. I know I'm not okay. I know I'm good at what I do. I've had like clients keep coming back and telling me that. So, okay, if I don't know how to run a salon, then I'm going to learn that part, right? But knowing that we're good and we know that we're going to do this. And it goes back and forth, right, between my two partners, because everybody has a moment. Everybody has that, I just want to give up.
Yes.
It's just not working. Everyone's telling me a no. And it's just like every door is getting slammed in your face. And having your support people are like so important. And if you're going into business on your own as a female, I'm going to tell you it's the hardest thing to do, because as a female, if you're interested in having children, if you're a sole proprietor, at some point you're going to have to be able to step back to have your own family. So as females in the hair salon industry, we know having a year off to raise our kids is not an option. So having two partners who can back you up and can be there for you. And I say two partners as in we're three for a reason, because two, you can butt heads and one can say yay, one can say nay, and then you're at a standstill and you break up a partnership. But you got three, always got a tiebreaker. And it's funny how like our three, me, my partner's three, it's never the same three. It's never the same two against one. It always changes, right? But if you're going to go into partnership, I think three, I personally think is a good number, but also finding partners who are not in it just for the moment, are in it for the long haul and share the same values and same morals. So like, again, over 17 years being in business with my partners, your day-to-day stuff, you're going to have your tits for, we're girls, right? So, I mean, we get emotional or coming around a period, or we had a stressful moment at home because our kids pissed us off or whatever. So you're going to come into work and have not always the same happy face. And so you're going to have your tits for tats. But when push comes to shove, when there's real decisions that need to be made, your partners are going to be the ones that are going to elevate you and align with you and work with you, or you're going to crumble. And I can say, when push comes to shove, my partners that I've chosen, I will do life with them 24 times over because our morals and our values align. So
there is an amazing tip for anybody listening. And I think that's also when you're choosing an employer. So this isn't just for, the entrepreneurs out there, but women in general. You need to choose an employer or choose a partner, because essentially an employer is a partner.
Absolutely. That you go to work with them every single day,
aligns with something that is, feels good within you, aligns with your principles and your values. Because if you don't, you're going to constantly go against the grain. And when you go against the grain, it doesn't feel good. And then you don't show up as yourself. You don't give your authentic self to the world. And then you're not able to concentrate, get tasks done, be creative, excel, move on to the next level. So choosing who you surround yourself. I mean, they sit there and say, the gurus out there say you're the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? You will only level up to the people that are in your most inner circle. And so with women, in my experience anyways, it's even more important because women are catty.
We can be.
And we also have a harder time getting the sponsorship of both men and women in
a corporate world.
But even in the entrepreneurial space. And so if you are surrounded by a powerhouse, someone always has your back. And you have theirs. And you're always learning and growing, and they're pushing you and they're wanting to make you better because you're aligning with their principles, you're aligning with their values, and they're aligning with yours.
I 100% agree.
It's one of and I want y'all to, like, when you watch this again, because you will watch the recording, take notes, because it really is true. It's simple things that we overlook, and we get so bogged down with our everyday tasks. We get so overwhelmed with all the things that need to be done that we don't often step back and be like, okay,
why am I here? Who am I with?
Right?
Am I happy going into work? I'm like having anxiety going into work. And why am I having anxiety? Like, what is the people around me bringing me?
Well, my fiance says this to me all the time. He says the things that matter the most should never be at the mercy of the things that matter the least.
Hmm.
And so when we're taking a risk, going out on our own, or you're in a mature business, or you're in a corporate setting, take inventory of what really matters the most, because it should never be at the mercy of the things that matter the least. And often it's the things that matter the least. Those are the things that overwhelm us to a point where we can't function.
It's so true.
So go back to that why and fly, girl, fly, because that is what should drive you.
100%,
Those are your
yeah.
principles, your morals, your values, why you get up every day. I mean, I actually have a crafted why. My why is to inspire positive, actionable change in every interaction I have, so that the person I've interacted with is actually better off for having interacted with me. That is what I strive to do with my kids, with my friends,
And
with
you do.
all of you, with my writing, with my keynote speaking, with my consulting, with the person standing beside me at Starbucks, with the barista. If I can make you smile, or help you have a better day, or help you see things different, or inspire you to do different, then I know I've showed up as my authentic self.
And I can say it has. I mean, so like Katie's been working with my salon as well, right? So I mean, you're never at your best, right? There's always room for improvement. So
we talk about that a lot.
We do. So although we've been in business for 17 years, we have new employees that come in, and sometimes you kind of fall into a habit, and you kind of fall into not always such good habits, right? So you always need somebody to come in and kind of shake a few things up in a good way. And I can say we've done this a couple of times, and we've also failed a couple of times because we weren't really ready to listen to what Katie had to say, or we weren't ready to make those fierce conversations or the choices that we needed to elevate our business. And so having Katie joining my salon, I could say the very first one, like the moment she left, she gave us homework, which was really important. And our salon group chat lit up like instantly because one of our employees had a bad experience. So we're talking about bad experiences, good experience. And I couldn't believe how much my team just was so on point with this one. And even my partners and I, we were like, yes, we talked about it, and it definitely helps elevate. So your purpose in life is definitely validated. I can say that personally, not because I'm like your best friend also, but I've seen it because we've tried it, and we weren't ready. So you got to be ready.
And by the way, before I started this third attempt with your salon, the conversation I had with them was a very frank one. And I basically said, look, the problem is you. And if you're not ready, to own it, and you're not ready to actually change, then I'm blowing hot air. So I love you, but I'm not going to work with you. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm at that point where I'm either going to help make a difference, or I'm going to go help someone who actually wants help, right? So we've had great success, and we've been working together again for the last, 3-4 months now.
Yeah.
The team is moving, and I want y'all to hear this. Privé Hair Gallery has an incredible experience. So this isn't like, oh, I'm fixing something that is broken. No, these ladies want to level up. They want to be better than any hair salon. And if you come to Toronto, you can literally throw a stone and hit like 8 of them.
Yeah.
So they want to be better than every possible salon there is out there. And that's the challenge that they've given me to inspire positive, actionable change with them.
Yeah.
But as we kind of come to a close, and I want to, because it's not really about what I do, it's really about Pat's story, and really about, the success she's had. And every one of you that is either watching right now, or is going to watch the rerun, or any of you that's going to share this, because I do really urge you to share this. If you know there's a woman out there that is struggling to take that risk, or is struggling within the risk she has taken, she should hear this, because this is coming from two women that have started businesses
and struggled.
Oh gosh, have we struggled? I mean, my goodness, it's
story of our lives.
It's literally the story of our lives. And I'm going to go back to this podcast because we talk about struggles. She said, and I'm looking through my notes. Oh gosh, where is it? Oh, I can't even find it. But she said something along the lines is that your current struggle is giving you the strength to take on the success that's going to come. And it's teaching you the lessons of the success that is going to come. And so from two women who have, gosh, I mean, our stories could fill up hours and hours of airtime.
It really can.
We've made it through because we've surrounded ourselves with amazing humans. We have decided what our why is, and we go after it relentlessly every single day. We take risks because you can't, I mean, with higher risk is higher rewards. We've decided to walk that path with, you know, the cars that have been abandoned on the side of the road because those people gave up and they went and, you know, joined the herd. We keep going.
Keep going.
And I think that's one of the biggest messages we can give anyone, man or woman, that's starting a business or is, you know, it takes 5 years, 5 good years, by the way, to have any success. So don't give up on yourself. Be relentless. Know your why. And I'm totally going to steal this and fly, girl, fly, because this is really the catapult and the delta, the change that you need to make. It's that mindset.
Yeah, it is your mindset. And you're going to be tried so many times. People are going to tell you you're never going to do it. What are you doing this for? And sometimes it's from the closest people, right? And so you take the closest people and you start to listen to them and you doubt who you are. You shouldn't. I mean, if your purpose is to set out and do something better, solve a problem that this world has, like however big or small it is, and you know that what you have is going to solve that purpose, don't listen to anybody other than yourself and just fight for yourself, because no one's going to fight for you harder than you. And find like-minded people who maybe not be in the same industry as you, but have fought to get to where they are. Seek them out, ask them questions. If you have to say, like, what was your inspiration every single day, whatever it takes to get you to your end goal, knowing that you have a reason, you have a purpose, and what you're doing is going to make somebody else's life better, easier, make them more money, whatever your venture is. Just don't give up.
I love it. I love it. Well, I have two more things before we're going to go. One, we talked a lot about the customer experience and leveling up your experience. And I happen to have an online course, which your team should totally enroll in, by the way. But it is an online course, and it's called the 5 Steps to the 5-Star Experience. It is actually on sale, regular $797, and it's $197 right now until the 31st of March. And it comes with a bonus course on accountability. So for all you leaders out there that need to learn to hold your team accountable, or you are the entrepreneurs out there that need to learn how to hold yourself accountable, I have given that course as a bonus as well.
Good for you.
And you're going to get a free e-copy of Custom Her Experience
Which
if
is
you
a
sign
phenomenal
up.
book.
Thank you.
I love it. It is like so bang on. For those of you who haven't read it, like, I swear you need to read it. Like, I think I was like messaging her and sending her highlights. Oh my God. So on point. This is absolutely true. And it's like 12 o'clock in the morning and I'm highlighting and sending it to you. So yes,
It's a good book.
It is.
I can even say that and feel good about that. I'm actually really proud of that book, and it can help everyone. So what I'm going to do is when this broadcast is over, I'm going to pop the link to the 5-star experience course in the comments, so you can click on that. It is only $197 with the free additional course of accountability, as well as the ebook Custom Her Experience until March 31st.
Ooh,
and my girl, Michelle McLean, has popped in the link in the comments of being able to buy the book, Custom Her Experience. So click on that if you don't already have a copy. Now, I always ask my guests at the end of the segment, like, what is the one thing? I mean, we've talked for about 30 minutes now. What is the one thing female entrepreneurs can take away from your journey that helped you be the success and whole human you are today?
I think at the end of the day, it's about being honest with yourself and honest with the people around you. And I think if you are really integral to your word and to who you are as a person, you'll never fail.
Love that. It's so, you know what? I can attest to that, because the only time I ever stumbled and fell flat on my face is when I did something that was not in line, or I was with my principles and my morals, or I wasn't able to look in the accountability mirror enough to see what part I played.
Yeah.
And I wasn't honest enough with myself. So there you have it. Be honest with yourself, take risks, surround yourself with amazing people, and discover your why. And fly, girl, fly. Thank you, everyone who has attended.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this
is going to end off with a cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. So good.
All right. Ciao.
Ciao.